Hey there. Ever feel like hurricane season turns your home into a ticking time bomb?
Hmm.
You batten down the hatches, cross your fingers, and hope for the best.
Right.
But what about the dangers you can't see?
Yeah.
Today, we're going deep on how to protect your castle, specifically tackling that sneaky enemy water damage.
That's a great way to put it.
We often fixate on the obvious aftermath of a hurricane, the
Yeah.
downed trees, the debris,
Right.
but the real trouble often brews in the shadows.
Exactly. So we're diving headfirst into the top rank roofing Florida guide, mold and water intrusion after Hurricane Milton. I need the lowdown on how to keep my home safe from these hidden threats.
Using Hurricane Milton as our case study is perfect because it
Yeah.
reveals just how much havoc water can wreak.
Even when it's not a raging river through your living room.
Okay, so beyond a leaky roof, what are we talking about here? Give me the rundown.
Picture this. Wind-driven rain, slipping through tiny cracks you didn't even know existed,
Oh, wow.
slowly saturating your walls and
Mhm.
insulation.
That's water intrusion, and it can be insidious.
So it's not just about a little dampness.
Nah.
What kind of damage are we talking about in the long run?
Well, over time, that seemingly minor dampness can compromise your home's structural integrity.
Hmm?
Building materials can warp insulation, loses its effectiveness,
Right.
and suddenly you're dealing with sagging ceilings, crumbling walls,
Oh, no.
and a breeding ground for mold.
Yikes. Okay, that's getting a little too real for me. And you mentioned mold. That's every homeowner's worst nightmare, right?
Hmm.
I always thought as long as it wasn't visible, I was in the clear.
That's a common misconception.
Really?
You see, what's fascinating is that mold doesn't need weeks to take hold.
Oh, no.
We're talking 48 hours.
Wow.
In that short time frame, microscopic spores invisible to the naked eye latch onto those damp surfaces we talked about and begin to multiply rapidly.
48 hours. So even if the storm passes quickly,
Yeah.
I'm on a tight deadline.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about a little mildew in the bathroom grout. This is
Oh,
serious stuff, right?
absolutely. And it's not just any mold. We often see particularly aggressive species like Stachybotrys chartarum.
The dreaded black mold flourishing in these post-hurricane conditions.
Wow.
It thrives in damp, dark environments, and before you know it, you've got a full-blown infestation.
Okay, you've officially creeped me out. So, while we might not see the water damage right away, what about those telltale signs of mold? What should I be looking or sniffing for? So, if I walk into a room and it smells like a musty old gym sock,
Yeah,
that's my cue to panic, right?
that's definitely one sign.
Okay.
But mold isn't always that obvious.
Right.
You also want to look for subtle clues like discolored patches on walls or ceilings,
Mm.
peeling paint or wallpaper.
Or even a sudden increase in allergy symptoms.
Wait, allergy symptoms.
You're saying that lingering cough could be more than just a cold.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
Mold releases microscopic spores into the air,
Right.
and when inhaled, they can trigger a whole host of health problems,
Wow.
even in people who don't normally suffer from allergies. We're talking respiratory issues like wheezing and shortness of breath,
Okay.
nasal congestion, itchy or watery eyes, skin rashes, headaches,
Oh, God.
and yes, even that nagging cough.
Okay, now I'm starting to feel itchy just thinking about it. So we're talking about more than just a few sneezes here. This sounds serious.
It can be, especially with prolonged exposure.
The guide even highlights cases of chronic fatigue, neurological issues,
Really?
and other long-term health problems linked to mold exposure.
Wow, that's really concerning. So it sounds like the name of the game is early detection and prevention, but where do we even begin?
Well, it all starts with your roof.
Okay.
Think of it as your home's first line of defense against the elements.
Right,
After a hurricane, even if you don't see any obvious damage,
right.
it's crucial to have a professional roofing contractor assess your roof's condition.
So even if I don't see any gaping holes or missing shingles, it's still worth getting a professional inspection.
Absolutely. Remember those tiny cracks and gaps we talked about?
Uh-huh.
Those are like welcome mats for water intrusion.
Oh, right, yeah.
A professional roofing contractor can spot those hidden vulnerabilities that
Okay.
you might miss with an untrained eye.
That makes sense. So we're not just talking about a quick DIY check from the ground.
Yeah.
What does a professional inspection even look like after a hurricane?
Sure.
Are we talking ladders and harnesses?
It's actually a lot more high tech than that.
Really?
Many reputable companies like Top Rank Roofing Florida, mentioned in the guide,
Okay.
are now using advanced drone technology for post hurricane inspections.
Drones inspecting roofs.
Okay, tell me more about this because that sounds incredibly futuristic.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
These aren't your average recreational drones. We're talking sophisticated equipment equipped with high-resolution cameras that can capture detailed images of your entire roof. from every angle.
Oh, wow.
It's much safer for the inspectors, especially after a storm,
Yeah.
and provides a level of detail that simply wasn't possible before.
So they can zoom in on those tiny cracks and crevices that could spell trouble down the line. That's reassuring. But what happens if the drone inspection reveals something more serious? What if I need a full roof replacement?
That's a great question.
And a common concern for many homeowners.
Right.
While a full roof replacement is a significant investment,
Yeah.
it's often the smartest choice in the long run.
I have to admit, the thought of a full roof replacement makes my wallet cringe a little.
Yeah,
It feels like one of those major home ownership hurdles.
I hear you. It's a big decision,
Right.
and the guide acknowledges that.
But what's interesting is that it actually breaks down how putting off a necessary replacement could end up costing you more in the long run.
Okay, so walk me through the financial side of this.
Yeah.
Beyond the initial cost of repairs, how does a damaged roof impact my wallet over time?
Imagine it like this. A damaged roof is like a leaky faucet you keep ignoring.
Oh,
Small drip here, a little moisture
yeah.
there. It doesn't seem like a big deal until suddenly you're dealing with water damage, mold remediation, and even structural repairs.
So it's that domino effect again?
Exactly.
One problem snowballs into a whole bunch of expensive headaches.
Exactly. Plus, there's the safety aspect.
Right.
A compromised roof might not hold up in the next storm, putting you and your family at risk, which is priceless.
You're right. You can't put a price tag on peace of mind. But the guide also mentions something about property value, right?
Absolutely. A new roof is a major selling point for potential buyers.
It's a clear sign that the home has been well maintained and is a sound investment.
Okay.
On the flip side, a damaged or aging roof can be a deal breaker, significantly lowering your asking price.
It's like that saying you have to spend money to make money. So investing in a new roof now could actually save me money down the line, whether it's preventing further damage or boosting my home's value. This deep dive has been a real eye opener. We've covered so much ground from those sneaky signs of water intrusion to the health risks of mold, and now the financial implications of roof damage.
It's all connected, and it highlights the importance of being proactive.
Don't wait for a small problem to become a major crisis.
So, for those of us listening who are ready to tackle hurricane season like pros,
Hmm.
what are the key takeaways? What should we be doing right now to protect our homes?
First and foremost, act fast at the first sign of trouble.
Right.
Don't wait for a small leak to become a major headache.
Yeah.
Time is of the essence, especially when it comes to water damage and mold. Secondly, prioritize professional help.
Okay.
Contact a qualified roofing contractor like Top Rank Roofing Florida for a thorough inspection,
Yeah.
preferably one using that cool drone technology we talked about.
Uh huh.
They can assess the damage and recommend the best course of action, whether it's a simple repair or a full replacement.
Solid advice. And here's a final thought to ponder as we wrap things up. If even a seemingly small section of your roof is compromised, could that impact the integrity of your entire structure? It's definitely something to consider. If this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, I encourage you to learn more and be prepared. Remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to protecting your home sweet home.